What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be going over the Friday and Saturday night games, or Saturday games I should say, and overall the mood's not quite as bad as it was on Thursday night, I'm not going to lie, so let's jump into it. I don't have any light working, which is really annoying. My key light's not working, so bear with me a little bit here. So we'll talk about the games first, and then I think we'll discuss how my team's going and trades I'm looking to make over the next few weeks. So first game was last night, and that was Brizzy Melbourne. Oliver was a pig in that last little bit. He was stat padding hard. I thought he had a heap of clangers. I'm surprised he got to 135, but 9 tackles, I guess it's pretty good. So yeah, he's a lock. I don't think this backline thing is legitimate. It doesn't seem like it is anyway. So I think that was just complete cap from from Melbourne. Petrarca 97. So he's one that hopefully we get as a forward. Not really in consideration as a ruck, as a midfielder. Brody Grundy, 74. I don't like the Grundy pick. I mean, he just looks washed up to me. He had 45 hitouts, but to score that, it's not good enough. Chad McAvee, 23, not great. Cade Chandler, 71. So he's probably got to be a must-have, or a must bring in at this point. I think his break-even is going to be really, really low. So yeah, we'll have to bring him in, I would think. Moving on to Brizzy. Zorko's gone 139 and got subbed out. I actually don't know what happened to him. It was like a rest sub. So I don't know why they did that. Anyway, he's one to consider. I think he's a 430k defender, or maybe forward. But yeah, keep an eye on him anyway. Dunkley 117, standard Dunkley game. Ashcroft bounced back nicely with 105. Danaher 102. He's not relevant. Jared Berry 101 is interesting. And Lockie Neal 100. So a bit annoying for Neal owners because, it's good. It's a pass, but, you need more than 100 if you're picking someone for 670k. But, we'll take it because it's much better than having Gawn. I forgot to talk about Gawn. Scoring 0, man, it's tough. I feel for everyone that has him. My problem's absolutely nothing compared to that. So yeah, if you got the Gawn, it's just super stiff, I think. Moving on, Connor McKenna 78. He has to come in, unfortunately, so we'll talk about him later. But yeah, he'll be coming into my team. Someone that's been annoying not starting, so is what it is. Wilmot actually played quite well, I thought. 68. Hopefully he can maintain that sort of scoring for the rest of the season, or for the rest of the time we have him. That's pretty much it from the Brisbane Melbourne game. Bizarre scenes with the power going out. But yeah, let's move on. This game I absolutely loved watching. It was the Nick Dacos show. 149. Absolutely unreal. This kid is a superstar, and so lucky that I picked him, really. Obviously talked him down quite a lot in the practice matches and just over the preseason. And my logic, if you haven't watching my videos, my logic behind that was just purely all the other defenders are going to get tagged. Tom Stewart, Dawson, Sicily's going to play maybe lockdown. So I just thought, if these guys are going to get tagged anyway, why not go with the player I actually like watching? So yeah, went with Nick Dacos, and man, they tried to shut him down, but they couldn't. It was a hard tag too. Jones was sticking right on him, but yeah, couldn't be happier with Nick Dacos. Probably have to cop the VC next week, or C, depending on what time they play. Just an absolute jet. Works so hard, and his goals were just unbelievable. So probably the best player in the competition, in my opinion. So Darcy Cameron's one that might come into my side this week. I think his role is really, really good, and I actually rate him as a player too. I think he's a really good player, and if he's rucking, he's going to score well. I think that's pretty much the general consensus. So he'll probably come into my forward line, I think, for Bruin. We'll talk about that soon. But yeah, really like the Darcy Cameron pick, and I think this is the week to jump on him. If you're going to get him, it's now or never. Tom Mitchell, 122, interesting. Still not quite in my contention, but I could see why people would pick him, and if you did start him, it's actually been pretty good so far. I mean, it's been better than Lockie Neal and Jack Steele. Anyway, moving on. DeGoey had a bit of a quiet one. Still popped up, kicked a goal, and was good when it mattered, I guess. That's pretty much it from Collingwood. Let's talk about Port. So Dixon went 123, he kicked 3 goals. Connor Rosie had 92. It's not bad. I mean, if you started Rosie, it's still a good pick. It's not quite that super lock that I thought. Like everyone seemed to think he was an absolute lock. I disagreed and always said Cogs was better. And I mean, it's only 2 games. It's a long season, but it looks like that's how things are going to pan out. I just thought, like, logically, Cogs has so much more midfield time than Rosie, and I don't see why he wouldn't score more, So, yeah, Rosie's not really scoring from CBAs today was interesting, and I don't know how Port will look at that, if they'll look at that at all. You would think they would, but, I mean, he's a gun player, so definitely one of their better players today, clearly. So I don't think too much will change with his role. If not, they might even increase his CBAs, but we'll see what happens with all that. And I'm glad I don't have him, to be honest. Nothing really else from Port to talk about. Horn Francis, actually, 45. Definitely a trap, I think. I mean, they're not going to get pumped like that every week, and he's not going to give away 6 free kicks every week, you wouldn't think, but I think he did do something similar to that in the practice match. But he's just a dickhead. I think, I don't like picking people like him in my team. He's always going to be, he attacks the contest hard and whatnot, but, I don't know. I mean, you still probably make enough money to be worthwhile if you do want to pick him this week, but he's not that complete must-have that he was looking like last week, which I'm glad, because I didn't plan on getting him in, and happy I stood strong and didn't bring him in. That's pretty much it from Port, I think. Don't really need to talk about anyone else. Butters was pretty average, obviously, if anyone has him. Let's move on. Adelaide, so Rory Laird bounced back. I think everyone knew that was going to happen. 8 tackles and 39 touches, absolutely unreal. He butchered a little bit, which hurt him going from that, and stopped him going from that super, super massive score. But, Rory Laird's Rory Laird. He's going to be a top 3 mid, no doubt about it. I think if you have him, you're still in that VCC option every single week. So I don't know why you wouldn't pick him. Or, I don't know why you would have traded him out after last week. Anyone that did that is just psychotic. Unless you knew, he had an injury or something, then maybe. Jordan Dawson, he got a lot of cheapies in the end. So he wasn't playing that well, but he's ended up scoring all right. So good pick if you have him. Adelaide, is anyone else really relevant? Rochelle had a good game last week. Looks like he's not going to be able to really maintain that kind of scoring. Kicked 2 goals and scored 70, so probably off my radar. Rory Sloane, not a good pick if anyone had him. Moving on to Richmond, so Hopper bounced back really, really well. I was annoyed when he got injured. I thought, wow, man, all these people that are going to trade him out, they're going to get bailed out, and it's going to be a good trade out. But luckily that didn't really happen. I mean, obviously we don't know if he actually is hurt and he just played with a painkiller or something. I don't think that's what it was. I think it was just, temporary pain, and he was all right, good to go. I'm hoping that's what it is anyway. But yeah, really happy with the way he bounced back. Jaden Short 100, he's not relevant anymore. Tim Treno 95, so he just does butcher it, man. 7 clangers. He slams the ball on his boots so often. I think the 2 games he's played though has been pretty high pressured, to be honest. So I think he'll go really large against the easier teams. I mean, Adelaide, you would consider them easy, I guess, but I mean, they put up a good fight in that 4th quarter. Ended up getting a bit of a blowout, but yeah, I think Torino will beat down the crappy teams, so don't worry about him too much, but it is frustrating. Daniel Rioli, I think Vlosten took a lot of kick-ins, so not sure what happened there, but he might not be that same pick we all thought he would be. Samson Ryan, 72, it's worth talking about. I mean, he does need goals to score, kick 3. He's not going to do that every week, you wouldn't think. But, yeah, I probably won't pick him personally. I think that's pretty much it for Richmond. Doggies and St Kilda. Now it's time to get extremely relevant. Timmy English 140. Well, he's putting his hand up to be an absolute lock at this point. I won't pick him just because I have 2 good rucks, but if one of them do get injured, he'll be the one I go to because I'm going to have Cameron on the forward line. But yeah, he's just a stat pad, man. He's on the back line getting cheap. He's is this guy a ruckman or a midfielder? Anyway, he's a beast. So if you started him, good job. Hopefully he can stay healthy and he'll be a really good pick for anyone that has him. Bont 125, happy with that. Straight captain Bont, we'll talk about that later. But he looked good. I was really, really worried when he got hit in the head by Josh Battle. I mean, I was getting my phone ready to send a DM to Josh Battle, the grub, for doing that dog act. But yeah, luckily that didn't have to happen. Bailey Smith was okay. Liv was okay. Jack McRae. So playing on the forward line, man, this is unbelievable. You think Treloar out, McRae goes back into the guts, 130 plus score. I wouldn't be surprised if people captained him, to be honest. But Luke Beveridge has always got some bullshit up his sleeve. So, Luke Beveridge cannot be trusted still. And I don't think McRae's a trade, but man, it's such an awkward pick. It really is. So, wouldn't hate it if people are going to trade him, I wouldn't hate it. If people are going to keep him, I wouldn't hate it either. I think the Dale experiment didn't work, man. Like, he had 77 super. I don't know. He looks average in there. They lost. Like, play your guns in the midfield, you fucking dickhead. Anyway, moving on. Toby McLean was okay, 62. I think that's pretty much it for the Dogs. Liam Jones, so 76, not bad. Anyone that held him, I think that's a reasonable score. I think he ended up scoring the same as McKenna, roughly, wasn't it? McKenna, 78. There you go. McKenna, there you go. Would have been worth trading. Oh well, hindsight is 2020. St Kilda, Rowan Marshall, nice bounce back game for him. And just like all these bounce backs, it just reminds you of why you shouldn't trade too early, because one game is not worth trading. I mean, I think there was like 6,000 people that traded Hopper out. I just don't get it, man. Like, the role was always going to be there. We know he can tackle. We know he can win the ball. Yeah, he looked average, but like, come on. I just don't understand, like, if you have no other issues in your team last week, which I find hard to believe, I wouldn't be... then maybe you would consider it, but even still, it's just chasing points, and I'm glad he bounced back really nicely, but if you don't have him, you probably have to put him back in, so it's an awkward one now. Jack Sinclair, so he's one that's really got under the radar. I think he actually had a pretty big game last week. Let's jump into the team real quick and suss what he scored last week, because he's someone that has to come on the radar. Wangan Malera didn't really get that same role that we thought he would have. He scored 104, okay. So one to keep a close eye on. Might drop in price a little bit, and I think a pretty safe top 6 defender, it seems. Mason Wood's gone 106 again, unbelievable. Jack Steele, 96. I mean, man, what does this guy have to do to ton up at this point? It's unbelievable, man. Like, he's had, 29 touches, 5 marks, 6 tackles, a goal, and he still doesn't ton up. 6 clearances, 7 contested. Just don't get it. Don't get what I have to do to get a ton out of Jack Steele on Supercoach. Anyway, he's frustrating. Wangan Lira, 76. I mean, it's not bad, but he's gone. He's not going to make enough money, in my opinion, to be worth it. But it was worth a shot, you know. It was a failed pick, and I've had, 2 failed picks so far in Bruin and... I already talked about Bruin, yeah, I did. 2 failed picks in Bruin and Wangan and Malera, but what can you do? It's worth it sometimes to risk these mid-prices, and not always going to get them right, and nothing you can really do about it, to be honest. Liam Stocker was good again, 74. Someone that has to be considered. We'll suss his break even and see how that's looking, and he might have to come into the team instead of Cameron this week. We'll see. I'd really rather just get Cameron, but I could see a world where I would pick Stocker and just do that triple downgrade. But we'll see what happens. Philippou, I don't think is a must-have. 59, 3 goals. Pretty much only scoring from goals, so not something I'm really that keen on. Freo versus North, so this is... Man, LDU has given me some headaches. He's gone back-to-back 150s. Now, I would 100% bring him in this week, but I have noticed one thing, and that is Finn McGuinness has his eyes right on him next week. I think he's going to cop a pretty hard tag next week from McGuinness. I don't know who else they'd go to at North, if I'm being honest. I mean, maybe Sheasel. I think LDU is quite clearly more damaging than Sheasel, but you never know, I guess. But yeah, I expect LDU to get a heavy tag next week from McGuinness. So not someone I want to jump on just because of that reason. If he had a game where I thought he wasn't going to get tagged, I'd bring him in, no doubt about it, because I think he's put his hand up for M1 at this point. Can he maintain it? Well, that's the question, I guess. He's got the potential, no doubt. Absolutely no doubt. He's got the potential. It looks unreal every time he goes out and plays. I mean, the Bulldogs game looked pretty average. But, man, he's a jet. Jack Siebel, 123. So one pick I really, really got right, and I was confident. I was very confident on this pick. He's a pig, man. He's an absolute pig down there. I don't see Aaron Hall coming into the team. I mean, Sheasel's playing his role, and he's better at it. And he actually kind of defends. Like, he clutched up in the end. Really clutched up. So, yeah, happy as with the F5, F6 combo of Zeeble and Sheasel. Could not be happier, really. Cunnington bounced back okay with an 85. Still don't think he's worth having if you have him, but, like, might not be a trade out this week. You might just have to wait. I think that's it from North. Comben, wow, 12. Ripped anyone that brought him in. Fucking trap and a half he was. Yeah, that's stiff. Brennan Cox, I mean, he's a bailout. 131. I'm not going near these fair defenders. I mean, if anyone, it's Luke Ryan because he's got that proven scoring, but, like, man, they can't chip it around like that every game, can they? I don't know. Brayshaw had a good game, but he scored a 106 super, so he dropped off in the fourth quarter and the second half in general, I think he dropped off. So, yeah, not really on my radar, Andy Brayshaw. Will Brodie, 71. Like, his time on ground's still so low. So, anyone that picked him as a pod, I feel sorry for him. And then Sean Darcy, what was he on? -1 at halftime. Quite shameful, to be honest. Like, I don't know. I don't know what happened to him this week, to be honest. Goldie just dominated him, I guess. I didn't really catch much of this game because I was watching the other one, but I watched bits and pieces. And, yeah, Darcy just looks shit tonight. So, let's get into my team now. So, this is how it's looking, and it's looking much better than it did. I'm obviously a bit disappointed with Neil, Steele, and Wanganeen Malera. Obviously, Doherty too. Jones didn't set the world on fire, but everyone else I'm pretty happy with, really. Super happy that I've got Zeeble and Sheasel, and I'm super happy that I've dodged some bullets, you know, like Gawn. Anyone that had him, that's really, really unlucky. So, very lucky with that. And I've managed to get through the week with no trade. So obviously, if tomorrow laid out or something, then maybe I'll have to trade. But at this point, I'm happy going into next week with 36. Obviously, we'll use the boost next week, so I'll have 33. But I think most people would have traded this week. I could be wrong, but and I would understand if you did trade this week. I mean, it's a good week to set your team up if you've got any issues. But, like, I would just highly recommend, like, don't jump on these guys like Horne-Francis and, like, at least see 2 games. At least see 2 games. And that's why, like, I was happy to cop the defeat on Bruin because I wasn't willing to waste a trade. If I had traded Bruin outright, I would have gone to Horne-Francis, and it was someone that I did not trust at all. I mean, Horne-Francis could have a good year. Maybe he had a bad game today. I don't know. But I was not willing to take that gamble on someone I thought, like, I went against my gut on. Okay, I was happy to take that 46 from Bruin than to waste a trade. Okay, and then next week, I know, all right, Bruin doesn't have the role. He's gone. So I think we've got to think more rationally because, yeah, trading out Hoppers and, like, Bruin, yeah, he was a good trade out in hindsight, but I'm just happy to take that extra week just to be a bit more cautious, especially round 1. You know, maybe, like, I just want to say 2 games. I feel like 2 is the number that you can really base, like, a good judgment on. But, yeah, so this next, what my trades plan on being is Bruin to Darcy Cameron. I'm going to drop Wanganeen Malera to Connor McKenna. Maybe. Actually, no. So I'm going to drop... Yeah, fuck, how am I going to do this? Oh, yeah. I'm going to drop Wanganeen Malera to Cade Chandler via DPP. Swing Davey into here, I think. And I'll field Chandler. Maybe. Actually, I don't even know if I should do that. Alright, maybe not. Maybe that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of Jones, Wanganeen, and Bruin, and I'm going to try and get Cameron in, and McKenna, and Chandler. That's basically what I'm trying to say. But I'll have to think about it, because I'm wanting to get a mid instead, just because I don't really want to field any of these guys. Vital, Baker, and Chess, I don't want to field. So maybe I'll just get Tom Green in and just, you know, go a bit anti-pod. It probably is the safer bet. Just grab Tom Green and that be that, because he's probably going to be a top 8 mid, it looks like. Wouldn't mind just seeing that extra week on him, but yeah, I mean, he's done enough for me to pick him, so yeah, so that's probably how it would be. I probably won't be able to get Cameron this week, unfortunately, so that'll be Chandler, in our field, Chandler. I mean, his role looks pretty good, to be honest. He works hard around the ground, so Chandler will be for Bruin, Wanganeen will turn into Tom Green, and Liam Jones will turn into, what's his name? McKenna. Another option I could do is I could go Wanganeen, Ash, and Bruin out, swing Constable down to the midfield, and then I could somehow get Stocker in instead of Tom Green, maybe? I don't know. My head's not working properly right now, but we'll talk about trades tomorrow night, because I'll be definitely making some tomorrow night, I guarantee you. So, hope everyone's having a good round so far. It's been a pretty rough week, to be honest. A lot of fucking Sean Darcy and Max Gawn. Unbelievable. But yeah, if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you subscribed, and I'll see you in the next one.